Chris, thank you very much. Juan Fernandez along with Mike Rogers here on the desk monitoring this latest pursuit right now in North Hollywood. Mike?
So here we are. We're northbound on the 170 freeway. This started in Hollywood. Now we are in North Hollywood, and we're going to be out of North Hollywood pretty quickly here because we are going fast. Northbound 170, look at that, just shooting through that car, blacked out. You see the taillights pop on every now and again. SkyCal having a hard time keeping up with it. CHP is about to take over this chase. This is a stolen car, silver Mustang that was wanted by the LAPD for being stolen, and now you see the spotlight trying to catch up with it, but it is going very, very quickly and blacked out, exiting the freeway here, it looks like, at Sherman Way. So we're going to be northbound on the 170, exiting at Sherman. The car blacked out, hard to keep eyes on it. LAPD wanted CHP to take over. CHP did not have a chance to get in place. So we'll see if those LAPD officers get back with it here. But this guy was driving insanely fast, Juan.
Mike, in the time that we've been monitoring this chase here from the desk, it's incredible how much ground he's covered.
Yeah.
At one point, you were saying this was on the 101, the 134, then northbound Lankershim at Vineland, then Lankershim at Morrison, and then Lankershim at Burbank, moving so quickly. Look how quickly he's moving here, very quickly. This is now Laurel Canyon Boulevard, right?
Yeah, and very quickly and blacked out, which is so dangerous as he blows through that red light there, that traffic signal. Now, we know that this car had been chased, by, to your point, Juan, by a Hollywood division. So this first was on the other side of the hill, and in the time it took for us to move the SkyCal from Highland Park, he made it all the way up to the North Hollywood area on surface streets, blowing through the North Hollywood Arts District, past Morrison, Vineland, Lankershim, Chandler, Magnolia, all of those streets, jumping on the 170 at Magnolia, and then shooting up north. Now we're back off the 170 southbound Lankershim Boulevard, right back kind of the way we came here when this all started. And actually, forgive me, I think we may be moving, we're actually going eastbound on Sherman Way. So we're eastbound Sherman Way through Beck, in the Sun Valley area now.
Yeah, he just crossed Beck right there. And Mike, SkyCal is definitely a little closer. As you mentioned, this car was blacked out. He's now hitting the brakes. So we are seeing those taillights light up. But that night sun is also, letting other drivers know that this car is basically in a pursuit right now.
Yeah, very much so. This is definitely a public safety issue, which is why we're on the air with it here, because we know that those ground units have backed off a little bit. They wanted the pursuit to be discontinued because CHP was going to take over. But before CHP could take over, we saw this. All right, we're pulling over Sherman and Case here. I don't know if he's looking for a spot to bail. Obviously, he knows LAPD is still with him because that spotlight is right overhead. So he knows that they still know where he is at, but there are also no ground units in the area. So if he jumps out, he will have a significant lead on any ground officers here as we are making a southbound turn on Vineland from Sherman Way here, going kind of back in the area we started to come from, although this did start in Hollywood. But you've got the air unit from LAPD overhead. And again, look at these speeds, Juan. We are on surface streets.
Incredible.
And we're up almost 70 miles an hour here as he comes through this area. We're just on the edge of Burbank Airport. So we are right on the approach path of runway 26 of Burbank, or runway 8, actually, I believe, of Burbank Airport as we come southbound Vineland here.
And you know, Mike, when he got behind those two white cars there, I saw him flash his high beams, basically wanting them to get out of the way, now making a left-hand turn here. What's interesting, Mike, you're saying that night sun is the only indicator right now that he is being chased because there are no ground units behind him, right?
Right. There were Hollywood units that were behind him. When they got on the freeway, though, they were ordered to discontinue, likely because of the speed and the fact that they wanted CHP to take over, but CHP never got the chance before he jumped off the freeway. CHP is not going to get involved on surface streets now, especially the way this guy is driving. What's interesting, one, though, if you look at the back of the Mustang, there's no plate on it. So at least I don't see one back there. I'm not sure if you do, but
it looks pretty dark,
Yeah, so if there's no license plate, it makes me wonder, how did they know that it's stolen, right? Because that's generally how they figure this out, is they run the plate and it comes back stolen. But that's not what they have right now, because I don't see a plate. So it'd be interesting to see how they made that determination that the car was stolen. One, certainly different from the one we saw that is, by the way, still in standoff mode over in Highland Park, right? Where we saw that one going speeds, they're reiterating right now that it is code 37, meaning stolen, as we are again near Burbank Airport. I think we're actually in the city of Burbank. That's the Amtrak station.
That's the Amtrak station right there.
Yeah, so we're south of Burbank
right by
Airport.
The airport, right?
Yeah, we're south of Burbank Airport. Hollywood Way is where we're going to cross here on Van Owen. So yeah, they're reiterating that this is stolen. Code 37 is the radio code for that for LAPD. And this guy, at least slowing down now, but still blacked out. You see the taillights come on every now and again, but really picking up speed again here, up to 70 miles an hour now in the city of Burbank.
A very busy Friday night as we've been watching KCAL News here on Channel 9 and soon to be on Channel 2 here. 2 pursuits happening, one still in standoff mode in the Highland Park area. And now we are following this one, a very dangerous pursuit. In this case, the car is blacked out, going at very high rates of speed. At one point, SkyCal having a tough time keeping up right with this. And now, Mike, we're by the airport. I'm wondering, you know, so many times by LAX, we have those temporary flight restrictions.
Yeah.
Is this the case with Burbank Airport as well, or is it because it's later, maybe they don't have as many flights going in and out?
Burbank's also a Class Delta airspace, so it is a less restrictive airspace than a Class Bravo airspace, which is what LAX is. So the Burbank Tower, the good folks up there, air traffic, I'm sorry, John's correcting me, it's a Charlie airspace. And John, we lost your signal there for a second as we get kind of close to the mountains there. John will work to reacquire that, but yeah, that airspace is a little bit easier for us to kind of deal with in circumstances like this. They can move around a little bit more. The air traffic controllers are a little bit easier to deal with. And as you're right, Juan, as we get into the later hours here, it is easier to maneuver. They do have certainly less commercial flights coming into the area. I think we've got his picture back. We'll see if we can get back up to him. There he is.
There it is.
And we've got that spotlight still. Now we are back westbound. We're westbound Victory now. So he came down basically over to Victory, and we're moving back westbound. Kind of, you know, just aimlessly. We are in the city of Burbank for not very much longer, a couple more blocks, and then we'll cross the city line and go into back into the city of Los Angeles. I don't know that Burbank PD is going to have any interest in getting involved in this. Certainly they're aware that it's in their city. LAPD Communications or even the police helicopter is able to kind of give them that. I believe, did we go? Yeah, so now we're on Hollywood Way. Couldn't catch if we made a north or southbound turn on Hollywood, but yeah, I think northbound turn on Hollywood Way. So now we're kind of going back in a big circle. We'll be back up by the train station here soon.
Does that mean, guys, Pat Harvey jumping in here with you guys. Does it appear to you that this person is sort of following a pattern of staying around the airport, around the Burbank area? You know, it hasn't really tried to get on, let's say, a different freeway, if you will, or head in a different direction. He seems to keep making a circle around where he is.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've seen any kind of concerted effort for him to stay in one area. This chase started all the way in Hollywood, came up the 101, got off near Universal and Lancashire, then came off and was in near the Burbank Airport. Now we are going on the other side of the Burbank Airport. So we've already been on the west side of Burbank Airport on Vineland. Now we're on the east side of Burbank Airport where the actual entrance is on Hollywood Way. And that's where he is passing right now. So if any pattern, yeah, Pat, this has kind of been, you know, at least in the last couple of minutes, he's been hanging out in this area, but he has been just cruising. As you see, SkyCal speedometer is 90 miles an hour. Now, we are a little far off. I think we're waiting for some clearance from Burbank to cross that runway right there. So we're looking at a little bit of a distance. Our speedometer may have some issues with that, but as he is going northbound, he'll be approaching the 5. So we'll see if he tries to jump on the 5 or what his move is.
And this is a stolen car pursuit.
Yep.
Is that a Mustang?
It is. It's a silver Mustang. I can't tell what year. It looks like it may be certainly not old, but, you know, maybe, well, is this, and I think this may be, yeah, I think this is going to be the 5 freeway. So I think we're going to come southbound on the 5 freeway now, which you may be able to get CHP to take it now, right? We were on the 170 north, and CHP, they wanted CHP to take it, but then he got off on surface streets, and CHP doesn't do surface streets unless they're already really involved in it. So now we're coming back southbound on the 5 freeway, and this could be an opportunity for CHP to get in it.
And Juan, we've covered so many of these chases with Mike, of course, and you know, CHP certainly seems to be more aggressive when it comes to those pursuits on the freeway. And you know, hopefully this is a Friday night. If they do get involved, they may possibly have a way of ending this sooner than later. If we get our picture back, which we will, of course. Okay, that's earlier. That doesn't look like it's on the freeway.
Right.
So did we lose our picture of the freeway pursuit?
Yeah, we're in and out. He's right up against the Verdugo, so our TOC folks are going to work to get him into a different mountaintop. But I can tell you he is southbound on the 5 freeway, Pat. Just passing, we'll come up on like Empire. I think we've got his picture back now near Burbank Boulevard, southbound 5 on the freeway. You still got that light. This is back live pictures now, Pat.
So that's by the Costco. That's by the Empire Center there, Mike.
Yeah.
Do we know if CHP has joined in this or not?
They have not yet. They had been requested previously when we were over on the 170, but then he got off the freeway and that kind of fell apart. So now that we're back on the 5, this LAPD helicopter is going to try to work with CHP to see if they want to take it over. Because the LAPD is not actively pursuing it on the ground, we'll see what CHP's interest is in getting involved in this, especially with the really, really reckless speeds that he's been doing. And we're on the 5 freeway, but we are in the city of Burbank.
And you see there, Pat, the entire time he's been blacked out. no headlights. You can only tell because of that night sun when the LAPD shines it on him that that's what's going on there.
And that's such a dangerous, dangerous activity right there, to be driving on the freeway at this time of night with no lights on, except for, I guess,
look at
when
that. There's CHP.
Okay. Well, I notice are they maybe going for another exit?
Yep. Oh, well, last second, look at that.
Almost.
Stayed on.
Yeah, the old, okay, we're going to make them think we're getting off and we're really going to stay on the freeway bit.
Which I don't want to tell him how to do his job, but that CHP cruiser was kind of blocked in by a bunch of cars there. He wouldn't have been able to make that exit if the guy got off, but he didn't get off, and now CHP's behind him. But look at this.
He's picking up speed, yeah.
We see those lights, and look at the speedometer. We're at 128 miles an hour, southbound on the 5 freeway, which is just wild. So, CHP, that cruiser, I don't know how closely he's following or if he's kind of given some distance there, but that guy gunned it as soon as he saw those blue and red lights.
And we noticed that sometimes they will back off.
Yeah.
If they feel that the driver is, picking up a dangerous speed and driving erratically, so they don't want to pressure them so much, so to speak, even though they're keeping eyes on them from above. Can we tell if they're still right behind this guy?
John, are you able, without losing it, because I know he's going really quickly, are you able to see that CHP cruiser back there? We'll see, we're losing him in some trees there. I'll switch over to the CHP frequency too and see if I can hear it. But, look at this, and we're getting to a point too where, we're going to have SkyCal's looking at this from a distance trying to keep up. We're southbound 5 through the 134, and I think I see, okay, so just out of frame, you see, there's the CHP car. It's just coming into frame. So he is keeping up.
So he is.
Yeah, and I think that's a Charger. Yeah, that CHP officer's driving a Charger. So certainly those are capable vehicles as well. And you'll see him come into the frame. He's right under that lower third, right under our graphic, but he is there.
There he is.
Yep, there he is. So he's keeping up at 100 and some odd miles an hour as our speedometer gets situated a little bit there, but we are definitely going fast.
Does it surprise you guys? I don't know, you think about if there's an emergency vehicle when they have their sirens going that people would pull over. As fast as this driver is going and with that CHP officer right behind him, I don't know, it would seem like instinct would be try to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Because of something like this. Look at this.
Right. And this comes up on drivers so fast that they may not have the opportunity to make that adjustment here. And this guy's really weaving in and out of traffic. We're southbound 5 now. We are getting kind of closer back to where, geographically where we started. This started in Hollywood. So we're coming into like the Atwater Village, Los Feliz area. So we're making our way back down that way. Ironically enough, we're getting not very far from our pursuit standoff that is still happening in Highland Park. So, obviously these are unrelated, but.
Flashing his lights, Mike.
Yeah, it kind of shows. Oh, yeah. So we saw that earlier too, Pat, where he flashes his lights to try to get people out of the way here, as he gets behind him in this kind of heavy traffic.
I mean, just the fact that he has time to even do something like that. Like I'm trying to get through driving at those speeds again. Wouldn't CHP, they have their sirens going?
Yeah, they do. The other thing, and I'll work with our SkyCal crew, John, to figure out, Dodgers had a game. I don't know if the flight restrictions are up, so we may be running into some issues with that here too. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's what's happening as we come down the 5 freeway. We're going to be approaching the 110 here is his next. You see Stadium Way exit. So there's Dodger Stadium. Far right on the brakes. Yep. Is he exiting? Or is he going to take the 110? We'll have to see.
That's the Stadium Way. Yeah, it's either going to be 110, Mike, or he'll continue on the 5, right?
Yeah, and I think...
Looks like he's going on the 110.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
Slammed right into the wall there.
And stopped.
He took that way too hard.
And look at that. CHP is right up on him.
They're not messing around. Wow.
Perpendicular out of the car. Guns drawn.
Ripping him out of the car.
Wow. No playing around this time.
Look at
that. You are watching KCAL News at 11 on CBS and KCAL, and we are watching the end of a police pursuit. A rather, looks like a violent one right now. They're trying to get this driver. They just tried to drag him out of that vehicle, and he is certainly resisting arrest. This is off the I-5 South exit, and as this vehicle was trying to get off the freeway, he crashed into that railing there, and that's what actually stopped the car. But we saw just ferocious back and forth, speeds up to, what, over 130 miles per hour at some point, Mike.
Yeah, just wild, Pat. I mean, this guy, stolen vehicle out of Hollywood, and he was driving it like it was stolen. And CHP, you know, he made this wild turn here on this transition ramp from the 5 to the 110 here at Stadium Way and just didn't negotiate it well enough and slammed into the side of the guardrail. And I'll gotta be honest, at the speeds he was going, he's lucky that the car only hit some sparks and didn't go flying off the side of the transition road here. CHP not wasting any time at all going up to that driver's side door and just absolutely ripping him out of the car, which, by the way, Pat, is twice today that CHP has done that. CHP this morning, our colleague Mark Liu was covering a chase where they did the same thing. They just walked up, ripped him out. Different story over in the Highland Park area tonight, but Pat, this guy finally in custody. Looks like he may be hurt and was just kind of laying on the ground there.
Well, he is.
That's kind
But he was struggling quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't want to move. You think he's hurt or he's just, you know, refusing? But, I mean, they could pick him up, of course, and drag him if they needed to.
Yeah, which they may be doing here. But, yeah, I mean, he hit that thing pretty hard. And then these two CHP officers were just really not amused by his antics. And, you know, we saw him walk right up and drag him out. Now they're standing him up. All right, so it looks like he can at least stand. They're going to want to search him to make sure he doesn't have any weapons or anything like that. But these guys were not going to play the game where we let him keep going or wait for him to come out. Where they just said, nope, you're done. We're going to get him out. Now, what's interesting, Pat, is I think the car may have disabled itself because as soon as he hit it, the hazards turned on and the car kind of stopped. So, but look, you got these two lone officers in one patrol car. Look at that, Pat.
Well, see, that was my next question. Where's the backup? Where is everybody else trying to help them? But I guess they don't really need it at this point.
Yeah, these guys are good. They chased them all on their lonesome, all the way from Burbank, and chased them all the way down the 5, ripped them out of the car. They'll do it themselves.
And didn't we say if the CHP gets involved, they are certainly more aggressive, and that's certainly what happened here. I know we were talking about pursuit in Highland Park, and we go to that in a moment. And what that is it's a standoff. That guy has been in the car. We talked about that a little after 9 o'clock, and it's still going on.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while. And as this guy is being walked back to the lone patrol car that, you know, handled all of this, he'll be put in the back of the car. Certainly they'll tow it and figure out what happened. And what sucks too, Pat, as we've talked about in previous chases, whoever owns this car now has a good significant amount of damage on the side of it that they'll have to deal with. And we'll have to follow up on this one too, Pat, because what's interesting is there's no plates on the back of this car. So I'm curious to know how LAPD knew it was stolen if there were no plates, which leads me to believe that maybe somebody reported it stolen or somehow they had some other information. But
and they used the description of the vehicle, may possibly even the driver at this point.
So, yeah, there's that. But look at that in the back of the cop car. And right now the transition from the 5 to the 110 is going to be closed for a little bit while they get this guy, you know, or get the car towed rather. So drivers will have to deal with that and they'll have to go down the 5.